So, Preethi, you've been an entrepreneur for 13 years now. If you had a time machine and could go back in time, still become an entrepreneur.
First point. So have you. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
joining me on the time machine.
Yeah.
But okay, if I had a time machine
Right.
and I went back in time,
Right.
I would totally do this again.
Okay.
With one change, which is I would change the way I'm doing things. But that aside, the whole shift, the whole transition I've had from being an employee to an entrepreneur has actually been really rewarding for me.
Okay.
It's really worked out well for me because the experiences I'm getting and the learning that I'm getting and the journey that I'm getting to go with myself as an entrepreneur is not something I would have ever got as an employee.
So you're saying that you would become an entrepreneur again, but this time you prepare differently for this journey and not just jumping like you did the last time?
Actually, to be fair, we didn't jump in the last time. We had a pretty long break between being an employee and an entrepreneur.
So by that I meant that you had no formal training on what it required to be an entrepreneur.
No, I think, you know what? I think we spent a lot of time trying to understand, okay, what kind of business are we going to start?
Right.
What is the business plan? What do we need for this? What is the kind of funds we need for this? What are the resources we need for this? Now, we were doing all the
Right.
that part of being an entrepreneur, but I think we didn't look inwards to say, what do we need to become?
Right.
How do we need to transform ourselves to become good entrepreneurs? And I think that that's one aspect most new entrepreneurs don't think about,
You know, that's what they'll teach you at IIT or IIM today, because having spent time getting formal degrees, in technical areas and management, you sort of think that you have enough skills to become an entrepreneur, but actually being an entrepreneur is completely
But let's be
different.
fair, it's a management degree, it's not an entrepreneurship degree.
Yeah, I'm not blaming the degrees. What I'm trying to say is that I thought the degree was good enough, right, to become an entrepreneur, but it looks like there could be an Indian Institute of Entrepreneurship also, right, as a completely new
Because we
skill
got
set.
a degree in being a manager.
Right.
So actually that degree was perfect and it prepared us for the kind of jobs that we
Right.
had. And let's look at the history of how these institutes were set up.
Their whole thrust was to provide managers and future leaders for very large organizations,
Correct.
including public enterprises.
Correct.
Right?
So it's fantastic for that, right? And it actually did help us.
Yeah.
So for me, my experiences as an employee were that along with the experiences I actually had as an employee, which
Right.
is learning to survive in a large organization, learning to be a good part of a team,
Right.
learning to respect cross-functional teams, and also getting depth in my functional area. Now, those are things those are fantastic for being an employee. But that's not what we needed when we became entrepreneurs.
In fact, the first shock that came for me was the time frame that it took, right? So it's very true what successful entrepreneurs say that it takes them 10 years to become an overnight success. I'm not saying that I consider myself success, but certainly my initial time frame when I started was 3 to 5 years. Around 3 to 5 years that I feel, wow, I feel like a cat at this. But even 10 plus years later, I can just say now I've got the hang of it and I've kind of figured it out.
Correct.
So which is, how excited are you about the next 10 years of entrepreneurship?
I'm actually super excited because I think, like you were saying, I've just figured out the hang of being an entrepreneur. So I'm really excited, for this day.
Awesome. So I think we should do another take on what are those skill sets that we found out the hard way that you need to become an entrepreneur, especially when you're making the shift from being an employee and you're a first generation entrepreneur, right? And what are the shocks that are there for you lying ahead in the road?
Okay, so caveat guys, this is from our experience, not the definitive guide to being an
No, it's certainly
entrepreneur.
not.
Okay, so we'll definitely do a series on this. But right now, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.